guide. So yeah, I've always wanted to. I've made a couple of these in the past. I made a totem one actually, of course, made in totems. But I wanted to make like a self-cast rain build. I like the idea of playing the rain. I like the play style. So I was like, I'll make Whispering Ice, and something. This build is mainly centered around the chest, is where all the ideas come from, and then the crit kind of came after because of some changes they did to Whispering Ice. So they buffed the base Whispering Ice crit by 1%, and then we got the new keystones, which one of them worked with power charges, and I couldn't really find another one that would work. I wanted to add a keystone in to see how it would be, so I decided to use the Inner Conviction one. I was going to try and do Supreme Ego, but this is also an aura stacking build, so that doesn't really work for Supreme Ego. So it pretty much left us only with being able to do Inner Conviction. Yeah, but I'd say the main highlight of this is the chest. And I've played around with this chest for a while. I make a lot of builds in this game that don't necessarily make it to the channel. And that tends to be because I try and keep them to like a certain standard of play and effectiveness, where I want somebody to be able to come on here, look at a build, look at a POB, essentially like copy it to the best of their abilities, replicate it, and have fun, right? I don't want it to be a situation where they need extreme gear to make it work, or they, they get the build and it's not really that great or anything like that. You can't even do easy stuff. So I've used this chest before in other contexts, mainly a GC miner, and the idea was to use the chest in the GC miner build and put the GC mine in the helmet with hype. I think it was like it was the remote mine with hypo, I think it was, and potentially even base crit. It was like an insane helm I had. And then I had 2 sword weapons in this. And yeah, it did actually insane damage when you put the effigy down. And that's how I knew the proof of concept was there. But I think GC Miner being built that way was just a little bit squishy. And you could build probably a better late game GC Miner in other ways, so I just decided to not really post that build to the channel. Maybe I'll post it eventually, because I think I still have the character. I probably won't do like a full demonstration. I'll just do a theory explaining behind what was going on there. But so I decided to take and reuse that thought on this build, and I have another build that I'm planning on using this on as well, so we're not going to be done with the Dodrace chest. You could actually use it in a lot of cases. But for this, I was thinking it's perfect because you already have your 6 link in your Whispering Ice staff, and it doesn't even have to be linked. And you don't need the chest link either, which is the beauty of it, right? So it's another kind of cost-effective thing. And what we put in there is Assassin's Mark, Temp Chains, Elemental Weakness, Despair, Enfeeble, and Frostbite. And when you put one of these effigies down, it puts all the curses on that mob and ignores the curse limit, which is really cool interaction. And the fact that you can cast it while moving, as you can see, makes it really good. This would be a lot worse of a build if it didn't do that. It would pretty much be like the unique aspect of it would be limited to bossing, right? But since it can do that, it makes it a lot more effective, because I can place one of these and then put a rain down, or I can put one as I'm putting a rain down. To be honest, I can do it simultaneously, super easily, and you'll see that they take a little time to come up, but they're actually still putting the curses on immediately. Once you see the ring appear, the curses are up. So it's pretty much instant. And it's really good for sure. Not even only on bosses, which I thought initially, but just on clearing in general, stuff like that. Yeah, so that's the main thought behind the build, essentially. And then the other thing is going crits. Like I said, I seen it get the base crit chance change, and then I seen the Inner Conviction passive, and I was like, I've always wanted to do a crit build with this, because crit is just going to do more damage than Elemental Overload, whatever way you cut it, right? But the reason why you typically do Elemental Overload for this build is because to invest in crit while investing in int is just hard to do, right? Because int scales so many things. It scales your damage, like your raw damage. It scales your base duration, which goes into your damage. It scales your health, like your energy shield, essentially. And then it scales your mana, which makes it easier to run more auras essentially, because having a higher mana pool means that you can have a lower percentage of your aura. You can have a lower, more of your aura, more of your mana reserved. Sorry, and you'll have like a higher flat amount still, right? So you'll be able to cast the rains and stuff like that. So there's a lot of synergy here with Hyro too, because you're obviously getting ES from your mana. And this build right now only has about 9k ES as a Hyro, but it's also only level 83. And when I get all the ES and all the int, I think it has how much int right now? 1284. So this is going to have over 1500 int and like over 12k ES when it's done, basically. And we're going to have even higher leech rate because we're going to have Eternal Feast most likely. Not sure if I'm going to take that or not, but it seems like it would be worth it. It's just going to be something that I'm going to have to feel around, see how it feels. So yeah, this is just going to be like super tanky, and it allows you to go crit essentially, because we're only getting crit really from power charges, getting a little bit of crit here from Annihilation, which we might respec. I might come back around just getting the int here. The main reason why I took this initially was because I had like no power charges at the time, and no, like the power charge on crit was like low level on quality, so I basically had like no crit at all. So I wanted like a way to get a little bit more crit. But now that we have like a robust amount of crit and keeping the charges isn't a problem at all, I think I'm just gonna do away with that and come here to get more int. But yeah, so you basically get the crit from the power charges from this. You get it from the power charge on crit gem. There's 20% there. You could get it from partially from your neck a bit, but you're probably gonna be running Astra Menace, to be honest. You're getting 50 crit from here, and then I like to get these with base crit, as you can see. The only reason why I don't have one in now is because for the dex requirement. But I mean, you can easily get one that's above like 22 dex or something with base crit for like 20C, 30C or something like that. I just haven't picked one up yet because I was using this one, and then I forget why I switched something else around the build and I lost a little bit of int. So I was just like, fuck it, I'll have to buy like an emergency pair just to swap in. It has higher dex. But yeah, so that's how you get the crit, and it ends up being a lot of damage. When I have this plugged in the POB, and I'll link the POB obviously down below. When all the curses are on, it does something like crazy, like 90k per shard or something, which is ridiculous for Whispering Ice. Typically you see them, it's like 30k, and I don't think I have these two in here though for that. I think I have Spell Echo and something else. So there is like another more in here. So this would be doing like less damage per shard because it's all about stacking the rains. But I haven't really played around with exactly what setup I want. I'm thinking like this is probably better single target setup using both of these. But for mapping, it might be better to just use like faster casting and like some other damage setup. That way I can just throw a rain and move, throw a rain and move. But honestly, with the curses, you kind of only need one rain, because if you notice, when you cast a rain, it lasts for quite a bit of time there. I don't know if it actually says the base duration on here. 5.28 seconds, which is pretty long. That's only going to get higher because we're going to get more base duration from the int. So, in terms of like where we're going next to with the build, so 3 more points will be here for sure. Going to be picking up this cluster. Dumping this, getting this jewel socket, potentially getting this, depending on if we want or not. If not, we're probably just going to get some more int, maybe come down to there, something like that. So yeah, basically just stacking more int and percent ES. And in this case, percent ES and mana, because that's kind of like a bit of a double dipping thing. And yeah, I came to the top basically because Arcane Expand seemed really good. And I also needed it to be there for CI and the reduced reservation here. And then it gives you access to the power charge and the utmost intellect. So, yeah, and then got Light Eater obviously as well. Enigmatic Reach is also really good. I found this to be the best spot for the jewel. Your mileage might vary. You could try unplugging it in other places. But the thing about using the jewel is you don't want to give up too much int. So in this case, I think we only give up 1, 2, 3, 4. We give up like 40 int, which is kind of like a hit, but we're getting 4% more damage per charge. Plus we're getting 4% increased area damage per 10 devotion and then 2% all elemental resistances per 10 devotion. I think we have like 55 devotion total or something like that, because we have 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, so it's 25, 35, 45, 55, 65. I thought there was like one more. Maybe not. You could just take one of these and get 60 if you needed the extra 2% to elemental resistances. The elemental resist comes in handy on this build because it's hard to get resist because we're using a lot of uniques. I would say really try and be picky with your rings. You want at least 2 resist each on them. Right now I have all resist on my neck, or not 16 fire, 16 lightning. If you really need like resist in your neck and you can't get a neck like this because this one's kind of expensive and you need Astral Menace, I would recommend just getting into the jewel socket and getting it that way. So you can get something like this over here. It's pretty easily accessible. You're also probably going to want 2 res in your boots. I would say don't worry too much about the pure ES on your gear. Worry more about like getting res and stuff, because that's where you're going to be like struggling a lot, and you're going to have damage with this build, trust me, especially if you're using the Dodre skin. You're going to have damage, so don't like focus on like, and you're also going to have ES, because you're going to have this node right here in addition to in-stacking, which is just crazy synergy there, right? So don't panic about, oh, I don't have enough ES, or I don't have enough like damage, because you're going to get it as you gain levels. For a helm, I would try and recommend a Hubris with either the Hatred mana, reduced mana reserve, or the what is it called? Zealotry one. If you can't get a helm like that for whatever reason, I would you can come down and get Sovereignty, and that should fix your problems. You won't need the Hatred has reduced mana reservation, but obviously it just saves you points if you don't have to do that, right? So it's using a level 4 Enlighten too, I believe, in here. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I think that's pretty much the build. I would say it excels in things like Breachstones, Delve, Bossing in general. Yeah, and just like Legion, it's not like super weak against. It's just, at this point, it's not like a face tank AFK build in the Legion. You really have to kind of dance around, and you're chilling things, but you're not freezing them. So it's not like the Freezing Pulse build where you have that extra layer of survivability, but still really strong and pretty fun to play. But yeah, so this is pretty much it. And am I going to take this higher level? I'm not entirely sure. I'm just trying to work on a bunch of other builds right now, so I think I'm just kind of going to leave this here for now. Usually I would get a build to at least like 89 before I demo it, but I really wanted to work on some other things, and I kind of wanted to just get this out there, because I may cannibalize some of the gear, so I don't really know if we're going to get higher, but I'm only going to do that if I can get good like value from it, so we'll see. But yeah, so if you have any questions or anything, feel free to leave them in the chat. And thanks for watching.